Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the StarCraft 2 Open Cup number 14 Asia for ESL. I'm your host, Steelmold. Steel like the metal, mold like the thing you put the metal in so that retains its shape when it cools down. Joined by on production and casting Yakuzaku.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Is anybody there?
We're just jumping right into game between SortOf and Super. That will be our first match here.
Yeah, that we are. Sort of being a. Whoop. Go
Hey, you do intros for the first hour or so.
Alrighty then. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Everdream LE. We have the Red Zerg. Coming off of a pretty good run at Stay at Home Story Cup last night, making it to the round of 8, as well as the semifinals of last week's ESL Pro Cup Asia. We have representing Dian Lake Gaming all the way from the land of the Swedes. We have SortOf. And in the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map, we have the blue Protoss. All the way over in the lands of Korea. He is somebody who we've missed out on casting last week, but now we are able to cast them. Representing Korea, it is Super, as well as Team GP.
Alright. So we see a standard opening from both players. I was wondering where the game sounds were. No. I forgot to get the stream. I didn't realize where all the weird game sounds, and then suddenly I hear a lobby starting, like a game starting, and then I hear myself, and I'm
That's what happens.
It's weird. It doesn't. You don't expect just how much it fucks with your brain when you have your own voice being played out to you in the 2 minutes delay.
It doesn't really mess with my brain so much. I just think, turn it off.
Oh, it wears me out. Anyway, SortOf going for a really quick third here.
Oh yes,
very greedy. Fantastically greedy.
I only now looked at the time. It is, I think he got it not even at 2 minutes, so that is very greedy, to say the least. But Super is aware of it now. How he's gonna decide to react is.
I mean, he's getting a Twilight Council already, so I'm guessing just glaives. Glaive addicts. Yeah, punish everything.
I'm thinking Super went to the Catholic school of StarCraft, which teaches greed is a sin. If you see it, you must punish it harshly.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess look, here's the thing about greedy Zergs. You gotta punish them, otherwise, you know,
it gets way out of hand way too quickly.
Yeah, and here come the glaives.
But here comes the Link Scout. Well, it's gonna be did get taken out in the end, but here comes a Forge, and if SortOf does not respect the glaive timing, especially if +1 is gonna be on the way, this is not gonna be looking too hot for the time being. Just gonna be making more drones. All right, gets a Roach Warren. But is it too late? Is what you have to wonder.
No, it's not. I don't think it's too late because
I'm trying to add suspense.
It'll be a while before Super really ramps it up. Also, Super knows that SortOf scouted everything because one Zergling managed to get into the base. So maybe kind of knows, and he's going to have to wait until +1 weapons. So that'll be a while.
At least until +1 is halfway complete, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he can start harassing right now with these adepts, which is the smart thing to do. But SortOf, I think, will see, he's respecting it. He's getting a spine, he's getting roaches.
That's a lot of Queen's position over at his third.
Yeah. You know, SortOf understands the dangers of going greedy. and he's like, you know what? There's a weakness here. I better make sure I don't fall for it. See, yeah, and Super. Oh, there's spines here. I don't want to shade into this.
I'm gonna have to fight somewhere else. Or eventually just not committing to the Shade harass. But he does commit to the Shade here, and he will target down a couple of drones. Shade is still... Alright, now it's off cooldown, but it will take a while for these Adepts to Shade out. Some of them are already being very bruised. One more hit, and one more of them goes down. There's only one left, and only 5 drones for the time being. Possibly 6. Possibly 7.
Yeah, 7. Yeah, I mean, these are glyphed Adepts.
It's not too bad.
You know, nice.
That's not terrible. That's about
sort of
even
in the meantime,
if you're going for Adepts.
Was poking Super's third base while this was going on with a handful of Zerglings, but that was very easily handled by Super. So
sentries are pretty good.
They killed the pylon. That was basically it.
Well,
and maybe a probe.
If there's anything I learned from GSL yesterday, you do not want to get supply blocked as a Protoss player. SortOf is starting to push in now with a decent force of roaches, but Super, already with the Immortals, these sentries have quite a lot of energy banked. That translates to force fields.
And then this map has a few kind of choke points you can utilize these force fields effectively, you know. Kind of have to trickle into the enemy base here.
Although even then, that's a bit of a risk trickling it in. Hey, Grayboham, Garboham, thank you for the subscription.
Woo. Quack.
But as we were saying, even trickling in, it creates a bit of a risk, as that's a very easy way to get your army split by the force field.
Yeah, you see the War Prism finally coming out from Super.
Yeah, +2 is
quite delayed. I expected it a lot earlier.
Well, I think what happened was Super went in with the 4 Adepts, realized that SortOf created a very defensive position, and decided, you know what, I don't have a lot of faith in my harassment, so I'm just going to focus more on staying at home, macroing up, playing it defensively. But now, as +2 is about halfway done, Blink about to be finished, it's time for Super to go on the offensive. He cannot allow the Zerg player to get an out-of-hand economy.
Yeah. As you said, the force field's there, but the Biles will take care of that.
Does buy a bit of time, though. SortOf has basically lost all of the Zerglings. Now,
War Prism gonna drop Immortals.
And that's...
And he can't lose that. It's very, good.
No, he cannot. But I would say that if you're looking to harass and you want to be playing it a little more safe, funnily enough, Immortal drops, even though they're a lot more expensive, and they might not get quite as much value as a Gateway harass, they're kind of safer. They're very beefy. They can snipe key targets, so even just... It's something that the Zerg player has to respect, so they'll have to devote quite a bit of attention to defending against that.
Definitely. And then with the charge loads coming in, gonna have enough buffer.
Especially as he transitions into Colossus, and here's the thing, Steel, I think it was either last week or 2 weeks ago where it was a PvZ and the Protoss player went for Colossus versus Roaches, I believe, and we were thinking, this is not a good composition, what are you doing? It turns out, if you can get 5 or 6 Colossus, it doesn't matter whether the units that you're facing are armored or light.
You still gotta protect them, and the Zerg has to not know that they have Corruptors available.
And as you see, SortOf only now going into that Spire, so he's not gonna have Corruptors for a long time.
I mean, by the time he sees the Colossi, he's gonna have a Spire at his disposal. So, yeah, but this is still going to be a huge threat, because once they have Thermal Lance, they can really zone out.
Threat! The Banelings are starting to go in! But Blink's away.
They can definitely get rid of Zerglings and Banelings in the masses.
And that's definitely what you want to clear up that Baneling Bane count so that the Immortals and the Stalkers can really focus on the Roach Ravager. We do see another engagement starting to go down. The Thermal Lance is really helping out a ton. Good blinks away, going to be able to dodge all of that Corrosive Bile. And there's nothing but Roach Ravager Baneling coming out here from SortOf. He's still respecting this army of Super quite a bit. He does not want to blow his load, pretty much. Or shoot his shot before he can really, before he knows he can, it can hit. He doesn't want to shoot his shot before he knows that he can hit the target. Before he can,
Before the climax, you mean?
I meant in terms of, like, you know, cannons.
I know what you meant, but
in terms of, like, you know,
but you know
muskets.
how it sounded like, you know.
I thought if I ignored it, people wouldn't realize it.
No, I am not here to ignore you, Yaku. I mean, I do, but I'm not here to do it.
Well, it's better than my real dad.
And
the Colossus are starting to put in a lot of damage. Super is just dodging so many Corrosive Biles here. Even without the blink, he's just pulling away. But the flank coming in here from the Baneling Surrounds are enough. They do take out a lot of the Colossus. But so much of these Stalkers were able to survive, and they are just blinking forward. They are taking out the Ravagers. What do you really have against this, to defend against this, SortOf?
I mean, if you managed to get the Wolf
Biles.
Prison, that would have been a different story, but now, just Super can keep on pushing. He's got all them gateways just pumping out Stalkers now.
Well, SortOf is pumping out units as much as he can, but they are starting to get surrounded just as they spawn. This is really the last thing that you want to happen when you're a Zert player, or one of them anyway.
Yeah.
Because once the opponent has the momentum, it's really hard to come back. But SortOf is pushing him back.
Also has the upgrade lead. +3 is halfway done already for Super. So, you know, them Stalkers do a lot more damage than it seems.
Indeed, they do. Yeah. Especially if you can get all of them to hit. It's always one of the advantages of Blink is you can just get really aggressive and make sure that every single Stalker is firing, compared to Roach Ravager, where it's a little bit awkward getting everything to the front line.
Alright, so, and he also managed to do economical damage while this is going on. Kills a few drones, but also gets
actually quite a lot of drones.
Which is very important.
I feel like at this stage of the game, that's actually quite a lot of drones, because if you look at the worker supply, it's so much in favor of Super, or maybe not that much, but...
Here come the replacement Colossi. SortOf is attacking Super in his natural, though, but can't quite manage to get to the wall.
Yeah, Zelda is holding, even without a shield battery. These Colossus, please turn around.
Yeah.
Alright, speaking of the Colossus, one of them does go down, and another one is badly injured. But SortOf has sacrificed every single unit to take it out. GG is called. And Super takes game number 1.
Yeah. That's a really... I like the nice responses at the beginning. Well, like, they're not mind games, but it was clear that they respected each other. You know, SortOf goes for a very greedy opening, and Super is like, okay, you go for a greedy opening, I know what to do. And then exactly, scouts it. And then, sorry.
What? I just realized, I just looked at this and we were about to start, but SortOf had Terran.
Yeah.
I was a little worried. But luckily, that was able to be remedied. Yep. Oh, right, we don't have Game Heart. Super, the host of the lobby has come in to remake. See, I like this. Super. My heart to you, man. You recognize things, and you do put in the lobby links and stuff.
There we go. Yeah, what I was saying, SortOf kind of scouted, Super scouted the greediness, SortOf saw that Super was responding. Super decided to go, you know what? I'll just go with some more a more mid-game approach to this. Not get super aggressive because you scouted my my response. It turns out you can go greedy at the beginning of the game and still, you know, lose to Protoss. Very
Well, Super was looking to punish that greed best he could. But, speaking of punish, here we have it in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, starting in the bottom left-hand corner of the Eternal Empire, L-E-E-L-E, Ile, if you will. We have the red Protoss, coming off of that very convincing game number 1, pulling all the right check marks, or taking all of the to-do list, responding correctly, as you were saying in your monologue earlier. We have all the way from the land of the Swedes, but currently residing in Korea. No, wait, I'm thinking... currently all the way from the land of the Koreans, but currently residing in the land of Korea. It is representing Team GP, Zupa. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map, we have the Blues coming off of that round of 8 in Stay-at-Home Story Cup, but now almost looking like he's going to be eliminated from the ESL Pro Tour Asia. We have representing Dian Lake Gaming all the way from the land of the Swedes, currently residing in Korea. It is SortOf.
Should say it's exactly SortOf.
What?
It's precisely SortOf.
Is it though?
Because that's more like of like a pun. You understand? Because SortOf, it's like sort of a
Wait, what?
saying. It's a phrase that's used in English
Wait, what?
when you mean that something is kind of, sort of.
No, you think it's sorta.
Sorta, yeah.
Yeah. But it's just sort of.
Yeah.
Or sort of.
Sort of.
I'm gonna need you
Sort
to
of.
sort off right now.
Hey, we have the gift sub there.
Hey! Thank you for that. So you have agreed, SortOf is not going as greedy as he was in the previous game. This time, playing it a bit more standard. Yeah?
But Super seems to be doing the exact same thing.
Which could actually be worse for SortOf, funnily enough.
Did SortOf get Overlord speed the previous game this early?
I don't think he did.
Yeah, so maybe he's changing things up a bit.
Alright, gonna be playing it more reactive here, SortOf is. Yeah, gonna be looking to play more reactive, gonna be going in with the Overlord Scouts, gonna see what he sees, and then adjusting accordingly. But what he does see is a Robo Facility as well as a Twilight Council. So SortOf should be prepping the defenses quite a bit better this time.
Did he see the research on the Twilight Council?
No, he did not. It started researching just after the Zergling got killed. But to be fair, once you see a Twilight Council that early, you have to think, it's probably going to be researching something.
If you see that it's not researching, then it can also mean like someone's going like proxy DTs on your ass or something, you know. There's like... It's a lot more comforting, I think, to see it's researching.
Right,
because you know you're going with some more standard stuff.
Right, which is why SortOf did go in with the Overlord.
Especially when you see the gases and you're like, okay, so you mine this amount of gas, so you're not going with zealots, you're not going with stalkers, you're going with adepts. You can sort of gauge, you know.
Yeah, SortOf is looking to gauge and make a prediction and react to that prediction.
How come there's not a Korean player called Gage?
Gage?
Gage. There should be a Korean player called Gage.
maybe in Counter-Strike.
How come there's no Korean player called Maybe?
Yeah, there is. In League of Legends, I think.
You should say Maybe. God damn it, Yaku. It's like I'm working with casuals here.
Yeah. Well, maybe you are.
Anyway, this time going with the adept job. See, he's getting the warp prism much earlier this time, super.
Yeah, gonna be looking to put out the pressure a lot more. And a lot
sort of
earlier.
Getting that layer.
Right, we should be seeing a switch into mid-game much quicker this game, coming out from SortOf at least. Super being a little bit indecisive.
Yeah, but the SortOf is kind of pushing that warp prism away, not letting it set anywhere, and by now he has a lot of roaches. I mean, look at the armor supply difference at the moment.
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard for Super to really avoid these roaches so much, but he does come in and clear some creep. It's nicely done. It's one way
It's very important.
get an edge.
Should be noted, in the previous game, that really helped him a lot, because once he cleared the 5th base, the 4th base was pretty much exposed. There was no creep spread there. You can just move his army all over the place, and sort of had no idea.
Well, he sort of had some idea.
No. I mean, yeah, look at where sort of creep spread is now. It's like one creep tumor away from the hatchery of the 3rd base. That's it. There's nothing leading up to the natural. Super can just walk up to the natural and sort of will have no idea. He has no map vision. I mean, he has a few overlords out on the map, which is helpful. But no creep spread.
And if you had to pick one,
the observer.
Yeah, if you had to pick one, it would be creep spread over overlords. Especially considering overlords can pretty easily get sniped here. The adepts do manage to get in, and they are sniping drones left and right. I think about 5 drones went down there. If I had to guesstimate, I have only now realized we don't have game heart. But the Spire is quite a bit quicker this time from SortOf. But as I say that, so is the push. The sentries are here, the immortals are here, but there aren't that many of them, and there's not a lot of buffer either. So Super decides to just take out that base and go for some harass, pull back. And it's actually pretty good for Super because he did draw the army of SortOf away. Now the Overlord did scout the Warp Prism, or did spot the Warp Prism.
Yeah, so it's gonna have trouble dealing damage here. But if you look at the units lost tab, Super is doing pretty super so far.
He lost 1 probe.
Yeah, and did some damage. Look at 9 crypt tumors. That's some proper cleaning work. That's some hygiene. That's some proper hygiene for this Protoss.
Yeah, it's just exfoliating.
Gotta keep that map clean. And here comes the robotics bay with an extra robotics facility. So we're going to see Colossi being pumped out again.
Are we going to see Colossi once again?
I don't know. I mean, SortOf should be moving out now before this timing hits, because...
but he's not aware of her timing. It's the main problem. And he's not confident. He doesn't really have a lot of upgrades here.
Yeah, these Mutalisks aren't going to find any openings here with all the Blink Stalkers and turrets, not turrets, cannons all over the place. But SortOf could push now. I mean, look at the army supply difference. He has a huge advantage. But he's waiting. He's just giving the Protoss time.
Is that much of an advantage when you've got Roach Ravager, though?
I mean, right now it isn't. But when he first could have pushed, if he didn't waste his resources on Mutalisks, I think he would have had a tremendous amount of push power behind his Roach army.
Well, if you look at what SortOf's game plan is, he's getting his infestation pit now. These realists were a bit of a Hail Mary here as some kind of form of harassment, trying to make sure that Super's economy doesn't get too out of hand while SortOf gets ahead in tech. But as we're seeing now, these realists aren't really working out too well for him.
But there's a shield battery and a cannon here, so they're not getting much done. Only a couple of probes died there.
Literally a couple.
I don't know if there were a couple, you know, let's not assume things. Maybe those probes were not, you know, they're just colleagues. But there was 2 of them.
Yeah, well, that's, you know, it's a collegial coupling.
Alright.
So you have couplings. These are 2 couples of Colossus here.
No,
and as you said, 4 Colossus. They don't care about what your armor tag is.
There's even a Dark Shrine coming up. Oh, nice way, SortOf. Sneaking in here. Keeping Super back. Forcing the army to come back here and clean this up. So Super isn't pushing forward.
Not quite yet. Try to get a flank here on top of these Mutalisks. But I think Super has correctly guessed he would not really need to worry about Mutalisks for a while here. Greater Spire being thrown out for SortOf. And that's definitely what you need versus this kind of
this kind of Protoss army. Into the 4th base of Super, and that was
that was pretty
7
super.
Probes. 7 probes died there. It's not. I mean, it's nice. Something. Especially
nice.
Considering it was a pretty well defended base and the army was around, so it shouldn't have gotten this amount of damage. But it did.
Yeah, question once again on everybody's minds, is it enough? Super is now looking to push in, +3 is still a ways away, so that is one thing that SortOf has going for him. A lot of these Banelings are trying to clash, but look at these force fields, they are blocking them. A lot of Banelings just evaporating to the thermal lance, but when you have that many numbers, and this good of a concave with Roach Ravager, all of the Biles are starting to connect on top of the Colossus, and I think SortOf has just held. Look at the supply now.
It did it.
Super with only 33.
What a fantastic engagement for SortOf. That was a well worth trade there.
Absolutely. They were so SortOf was so behind in terms of traded resources. Super for most of this game trading so efficiently. Now if you look at the units lost tab, they are not far off. In fact, Super actually ahead or losing more in terms of gas. And yes, 42 Banelings have gone down, and it was well worth it.
That means 42 Banelings that did not reach their targets.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, if they show up in the units lost tab, it means they died. They didn't detonate.
Oh. Oh no.
If they detonate, they don't show up on the units lost tab. So that means even after killing 42 Banelings,
SortOf still had enough.
SortOf still had enough to blow up the entire Protoss army, which is very costly. Damage. You gotta remember. Banelings are deceptively expensive for such a disposable unit.
In terms of gas, especially when you're going into Greater Spire, the ratio of minerals to gas that Banelings costs are so heavily in the favor of gas that it starts to eat into your other units.
They can also make an army disappear. So
yeah, that they can.
Is that
the power of burst damage? You gotta always look at risk reward there. Another engagement started to come down. Super has rebuilt the Colossus count, but he's gonna have to be so careful this time. Super or SortOf is starting to go in with a Ling run by, but SortOf is turning back to defend against this, and this actually just buys SortOf a lot more time. He's already getting the Brute Lords out.
Yeah, and he's gonna have he already has the army supply advantage. He's gonna have the upgrade advantage. So
these Banelings have not been scouted. These Banelings have not been scouted. Super has no idea that they're being morphed.
Right now they don't really have anywhere to roll into and kill probes, at least.
Do you not remember the power of burst damage? Alright, Super does respond, but he started to clump up his probes. But
like I said, they don't
and quick reactions.
The bunkering of the 3rd base and the fact that the army was next to the 4th base meant that these Banelings should not have done damage.
I guess not.
Super was attentive. One warp in. Is that a defensive warp in?
It is, in fact, the defensive warp in here, taking out a couple of lings here to run by. I gotta say, this army composition from Super, Sentry, Stalker, Colossus, it's not something you see every day. And I'm not actually sure if this is what is going to be effective against this. Now, the Stalkers can always blink under the Brute Lords, like so, but they also can get evaporated by the Banelings. But the Force Fields! They are keeping these Stalkers alive. All of the Brute Lords have already gone down. And you know what? The Colossus are good, but it's the Force Fields right now that are the real MVP. Because the Colossus cannot take out the Banelings quick enough if not for the Force Fields. Once again, showing off their value here, but not quite enough energy. The Banelings do detonate on top of the Colossus, but once again, it seems like SortOf has just enough to push Super back here.
Yeah, but it costs so much. I mean, SortOf is broke, at least for minerals.
That
and he did lose quite a lot, quite a lot of workers in this.
And if you look at the income, SortOf is not going to be able to make that back anytime soon. Super did lose the more expensive units, but he has.
And he also lost
going to have a much easier
SortOf,
time. Yeah, Super
89 Banelings died. 89 Banelings did not get to detonate.
That is the power of Force Field Colossus. Now, Super did lose a more expensive
91 Stalkers. 91 Stalkers died this game. That's sick. Yeah.
But Super does have the resources to build them back up.
By the way, Probe lost to 2-1 to James, by the way. We were expecting, sort of expecting, whoever wins this match to be facing Probe, but no, they will be facing James instead.
Which one?
GP James? Yeah, GP James.
Which one is that?
Who is Super's teammate.
No, you know that?
Light told me.
We're having a lot of little skirmishes here, trying to see who is getting their angle, how the players are trying to look for angles to where they can attack, but not really finding it. The game's about to slow down. That was a very costly battle for both ends. But yeah, again, I'm not sure who got out better in that. If you actually look at the income and the resources, Super has a bit of a bank now, and he is starting to rebuild the army, and arguably the better army as well.
Yeah, because he was able to make use of his gas, but
only one Brute Lord here.
So much on these Banelings. And
once again, if we look at it, SortOf is making a bit of money, but then he immediately goes broke again. Super, when he spends his bank, he still has a little bit left over.
He's got a run by in the southeast there that's kind of hesitating to go in and out. Maybe he's waiting to see if when the army moves out.
Trying to find the optimal timing here.
No, is all army hotking everybody? Oh.
Well, all hands on deck.
Well, all claws on deck, or mandibles, or whatever. There's like a lot. I don't think there are a lot of hands in the Zerg army. Infestors, maybe even they actually like some of their hands get mutated into like claws and stuff. All right, this hatchery going to survive for now, but the Brute Lords are open. There we go.
Lords are in fact open. Couple of Zerglings trying to come in to act as a bit of a buffer, but melting to the Colossus. Now, you don't have any force fields here, Super doesn't, but if you think about it, Archons are kind of mobile force fields that do damage.
Yeah. Yeah,
and now SortOf is getting backed into a corner. Blinks right up, right in front of the Zerglings, and gets the Brute Lords down.
Are all going down.
So many more Stalkers getting warped in. GG is called.
Woo!
And
that was a very entertaining PvZ.
That it was. I was kind of dreading it because PvZ can get pretty stale. I think has gotten a little stale over the past couple of years. But that game, quite a bit of back and forth, a lot of stakes. That whole series, even. It looked like they were about matched.
Yeah, they were kind of evenly matched there. All right. So let's get on to our next series, which I guess we're going to cast James versus Super.
Yeah, we may as well follow Super at this point. So just update the whatchamacallit,